Hello, everyone, and McClunky, back to the newest episode of the Spice Squadron. Is episode 7? It's episode 7. This is when things get wacky and wild.
No, this is it. This is the turning point.
This is the wacky, yeah.
Before we were just kind of keeping up pretenses. Now you get the real Spice Squadron.
Spice Squadron. This episode, we got a few things to discuss. We've had 4 new spoilers, 3 really good ones, and 1 pretty good one. And then we have some mystical teasings of the Force as well that we kind of want to go through. And then most importantly, we had the stream we've been talking about pretty much all this month, which is the product rollout stream. We finally have some pricing. And we also got to find out a little bit about OP, organized play. So like when you go to your locals. So let's dive right into it, and shall we start?
Absolutely. First thing we're going to start with is you saw it flying across the screen last week. It is Sabine Wren, the unit.
What a unit she is.
She sure is. She is a 2-cost red heroism unit. She is a 2/3, and she has the following text.
While you have 3 other aspects on friendly units you control, Sabine cannot be the target of attacks, meaning that you can't attack her with anything. And on attack, you may deal 1 damage to the defending unit or a base on attack, or enemy base, I believe. That is insane. On a 2-cost unit, I would say that's probably one of the strongest first turn plays you could make.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the closest we have to a turn 1 player that kind of matches on the level of aggression is probably Viper Probe Droid.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have
text
the...
on
yeah.
that. She has innate protection against attacks. She has ping damage, which we know is strong. We know abilities like Shoot First, Han Solo, Boba Fett the Disintegrator. We know all of those abilities are great, and she just kind of has that on a smaller scale, like on a stick, small kind of ping. And if you are going face, she hits the base too for 1. You got options, and that's exactly what you want to get. And I think we have seen a bit of a trend, and we will see this trend coming up with another card that got revealed. But Spectres, because she is a rebel, and she's a Spectre and a Mandalorian, so that's a cool keyword they threw in there. That's exciting. But it seems like Spectres, just on curve, are better.
Yeah, they seem to just be a little bit started above. So Kanan
spoiler!
And Sabine all seem to just kind of have that one bit extra above. Stat point.
Yeah, which is great. That's huge.
And not to say we don't have a 2/3 2-cost unit.
We've got a lot.
First Legion Stormtrooper.
Yeah, but there's a bit of a difference in the abilities on those, where Sabine has inherent protection. And one really interesting thing, which could be a thing that happens, could not be a thing that happens, but Spectres seem to be in a lot of different colors. So I've seen some theories floating around, and one that I like is that we may get a leader that lets you play Spectres without aspect costs. I think that'd be cool. But regardless, it's just nice to see that no matter what color pairing I can build, I can always include Rebels in it, because as we all know, I love Rebels so much. So me personally, I know that no matter what color I build, I can be like, cool, I can include Ezra and Kanan, or I can include Sabine and Ezra.
The only one we haven't seen at the moment is Green Command. We haven't seen a Command Rebel, but the assumption is, general consensus is that we're probably going to get Hera.
I mean, she literally is
Chopper, the commander.
True.
Of
Chopper,
the Ghost.
The
ultimate supreme leader.
Galactic terrorist Chopper. But overall, I think that Sabine unit is great and pairs really nicely with the leader, but even independently on its own, is just a solid unit.
I think we're definitely going to see her being run in a lot of decks that are splashing red, especially when we see more of those kind of hero red and neutral red units.
Yeah, I'm excited. Getting a hero red card is always welcome. I would probably give her like a 3.5 on the Spiceometer, I would say. She's actually pretty solid. Moving on to the next one. This card is not bad. We both really like it. It's just comparatively to the 3 other cards, like the other 3 cards that were revealed over the last week have been very good.
Yeah, it's like quietly good.
Yeah, it is.
I think is a good way to describe it.
It's something that it's one of those cards that you know is good because if you're building a deck and you're finding yourself not having slots, it's one of the first cards you would come to and happily include without feeling bad about it.
It's also a card that I'm happily opening in my sealed.
Yeah, if I'm building a draft deck or sealed deck or because of this stream they talked about it pre-release
which is
deck, which is a big thing we'll dive into. If I pull that, I'm gonna feel good.
Oh yeah.
It is I can't remember exactly what it's called.
We know it has Viper in the name.
Yeah, it's like a Viper fighter. It's like one of the old like fringe fighters. It's like Consortium.
Yeah, Consortium Viper
or something like that. This is the first time that we haven't remembered a
You'll
card.
see it here.
Yeah, make sure to make fun of us for that.
Yeah.
But it is a 3-cost neutral command. This was our weekly command reveal. So we've got one more next week. We'll get an event. But this was our weekly command reveal. It's a 3-resource neutral with a great stat line. 3s all around.
Yeah, in space where they've kind of said it's started a little bit below the curve.
And we know currently, for those of you who've been testing quite long, we have... space is real good, turns out.
Coming against a lot of, like, especially the hero stuff with the X-Wings being 2/3s, it's kind of really well statted to just kind of...
I would say that the early game space aggro is definitely dominated by hero, and this is a really good card for both villain and hero because it gives hero that bump, but it does give villain that early game play. And not only that, much like our other red neutral fighter with good stats, the 4/1, this one has, if you have the initiative, it has Restore 2, which has got me thinking we might see 2 others, a yellow and a blue one, that also have the when you have initiative. Just get a neat little cycle of these kind of neutral fringe space units that are just good.
Yeah, exactly.
Overall, it's a really solid unit. If you open it in draft, you're happy. If you put it in your deck, you're happy. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've both got them in our gameplay decks this week.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, check out this week's gameplay.
Please do.
You'll definitely see at least one of them played, I assume.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to watch because you get to see the same color pairing, but hero versus villain, so you get to see how different they really are.
Very interesting thing about this card is, for the Super Star Wars nerds out there, there is I am not versed in the books and comics kind of section, but apparently this Consortium Viper thing is I looked it up there. I can't remember what his name is, but there's some kind of characters there.
Yeah, it's linked to a specific like crime lord or something. I can't remember. I want to say Pikes, but I don't think that's right. But it's an exciting card because it's linked to a lot of interesting background characters. We'll have to look it up because I'm a big Star Wars lore nerd. I mean, I love running like Star Wars RPGs and stuff. So, but card overall is great. Again, the art looks awesome. I think the artwork for all of the cards we're going to see today are like great.
The artwork on this one is really interesting. It's got kind of like that. I've never seen this shit before. This card. Obviously, other people had, but it's got that kind of really cool, like kind of separated, but kind of like sci-fi-y.
I've seen it once, and that was on the. It's like the strategic. What are they called? RTS game, the Star Wars RTS game, where you got to have like battles on the planets, and it's like an old early 2000s one. And if you played Underworld, that was one of your space units.
Okay.
So that was really cool. That's really cool to see.
Well, there you go.
Speaking of awesome artwork and cards that are just all round cool, Takedown got revealed in this stream. And we got to say, we love removal, and this is a good piece of removal. Even the devs said on the stream, like, this is one of the best pieces of removal in set 1.
Yeah.
And it also got...
They know all of set 1, so...
They do, and set 2 and 3. Just give us the set list. It's fine.
I believe exactly what they said is this is a pivotal card for the meta of set 1. Like,
that's different than just saying a card is good.
Yeah, it's something that leads you to believe there's going to be a lot of really important pieces
that this can just get rid of.
Are going to be 5 health or less. So we should probably say what it does.
Yeah, true, actually. Here it is, but why don't we tell you? It's a 4-cost vigilance event.
It says defeat a unit that has 5 health or less.
Remaining, yeah. Remaining. So the remaining part's important, but for those of you who are confused, no, the unit does not have to have any damage on it. Just like the Vigilance card, if you have a 5-cost unit, like the 3/5 Boba Fett Disintegrator, this card gets rid of it. For all of you who are excited about Sabine Leader, unfortunately...
It does not say non-leader unit.
This card does get rid of your Sabine, which is very tough now that there's neutral blue card that can get rid of it and Force Choke. It'll be interesting. I think there'll be a real art form for when you should play your Sabine Leader, and I think that's going to be a really cool point. So when you people can, flip your Sabine Leader at the right time and maximize your with that, I think that's going to be a real skill to see is when to utilize those low health early flip leaders.
I think there's definitely going to be that kind of game of chicken where you go, okay, we've hit turn 3, we both have 4 mana. All right, I'm going to tap something, play something, tap something, play something, swing, and they've run out of actions. They go, well, pass.
Yeah.
And you have to decide whether you're going to throw down Sabine to be fed to the dogs.
Yeah.
Or you could just claim there, leaving them with 4 open energy and having that board presence.
It's interesting because it also is like a really good bluffing tool if you sit down against Sabine. And then they themselves said you have to evaluate whether or not, do I run this leader because am I going to be sitting down and facing off against this card a lot, which is really interesting. It also has awesome art.
The art is very pretty.
Also a game character, Battlefront 2, one of the characters, which is really cool to see. Also novel characters, for those of you who know campaigns for Battlefront, the most recent ones, 1 and 2, you got to play as this squadron. I can't remember their name, the squadron's name, but the artwork's awesome. I absolutely love seeing the Rebel get his face kicked in both arts. We have the 2 artworks.
Cheeky spoiler for what we're going to be talking about a little bit later, but bang!
Whoa! And God, is that gorgeous. Look at that.
They're both very pretty.
Very nice.
The full art really makes it sing.
Yeah, I do love the kamikaze fly kick to the face. Speaking of things that sing, we have our final and 4th reveal for final actual card we've seen for this week, and that is Ezra Bridger. Awesome unit. I'm a big Ezra Kanan fan. I love them both. I love Kanan the most. I love the Rebels, but Ezra is definitely my second favorite Rebel. He is great. He's a 3-cost hero cunning. Why don't you tell us a bit about his stat line and abilities?
Yeah, so he is a 3/4. Again, we're talking about how they're kind of statted that
really
1 above, and it's always
cost.
usually health. They've just got that 1 extra health tagged on.
In my opinion, makes a big difference.
And his ability is, after he's completed an attack, so he needs to have survived the attack to activate this ability. He needs to still be on the board. You may look at the top card of your deck. You may play it this turn, discard it, or leave it on top.
So it's you look at it and you choose then whether or not you play it, discard it, or leave it. Options, and on a cheap but really good body.
Yeah, absolutely. I would not be surprised at all if we get some green-yellow decks that are running the ambush base.
Trying to get Ezra
him
out and swinging.
And swinging with him. Because he definitely seems... It's definitely a really interesting card. They're able to extend plays quite easily.
He's incredible because you can swing and you can hit things like Fleet Lieutenant, Surprise Strike. You can get effectively a layer swing. And speaking of which, he actually has 3 very relevant tags. Rebel, for 1, so he triggers off of your layer leader. Force, so if you're running him in a deck that synergizes with things like Kanan or Yoda or Obi-Wan, you can use it. Binds all things. You could swing with him. He could take 3 damage from clearing a unit. You could flip it, binds all things, heal him for 3, and take out another unit all in one go.
Yeah, there's definitely some really cool things you can
Just play extension is really interesting, and also the option of Ezra going, I look at this card, I don't want this. It's going in the bin for later when I want to, pick it back up with, if you're running command, or if we see another card, which I'm sure we will in the future, that lets you get cards back. If you want to load up your graveyard for home 1, Or if you go, I would rather draw this card, I'll leave it there. That's great too. But, there have definitely been some times where I've been testing with the deck, and we've not played a game yet with it. That's going to be, for those of you, I'm playing Green Yellow Layer, so if you want to check out some of that Spice, go check out the gameplay video. But I've tested a little bit with her, and it's pretty nuts when you swing with Leia, swing with Ezra, flip a Surprise Striker or a Fleet Lieutenant, and you get like 10, 15 damage out, all in one go. That just... It's so explosive.
And I think it's one of those cards where it's going to be tough to see his true value because the priority on removing him is so high.
Yeah.
So if you're watching games a lot of the time and you're sitting there like, Ezra's good in theory, but he just gets removed constantly. It's like...
Because if you leave him, he's going to be too good. I mean, we know Piet is good. And Piet is, we know Piet's a great unit giving things ambush because you can't let that happen. Ezra's essentially draw a card even better. He's incredible. So if you see him getting removed, it's not because he's bad, it's because he's too good.
Yeah, it just can't be left on the field.
There are so many things we could say about Ezra, swinging and flipping a sentinel off the top. Things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting interactions with
like a Han Solo
him and
off
Leia,
the top. Yeah.
All those kind of plays that you can do with Leia, tapping him, swinging, and then getting another card, and when those resolve and stuff, which I'm sure we'll get a lot of answers on in the FAQ.
I think one that I really enjoyed testing with was swing, flip home one, get a Fleet Lieutenant, swing. Just all those really interesting play extensions. So that's all that we got officially spoiled. There is a few more cards we're going to talk about with the GameGenix product.
So GameGenix released a little promo image of, hey, we're going to be at Spiel. And them going to be showing off a lot of their products at Spiel. I apologize for the hiccups that I currently have. And on that image, we saw something interesting. Well,
something grand.
Two things interesting.
Three things interesting.
Three things interesting. One that was completely blanked out.
We also saw this image again in this week's stream. So GameGenix is the one who's making all the really awesome products that I'm super hyped about. I can't wait to
Those deck boxes look so good, and I cannot wait to get my hands on them.
I also love how we got to see a little bit that the lids can come off and everything like that, so you can mix and match them. Anyway, what's important is we saw what we assume to be the other common red inset leader. It is a villain, and it is the Grand Inquisitor. We don't know what he does yet because it's a very blurry image, but I don't think there's many black armored Powans, which is his race, with double-bladed lightsabers that are frolicking around the galaxy.
Specifically spinny
lightsabers. We got a glimpse of the red aggression 25 health base, which looks to be Tarkin Town from Rebels. But again, this is all official imagery from FFG, but I think it's just them just trying to get our hype up, I think it's just a thing for, hey, you guys who are paying attention, have a look at this. And the third thing and most exciting thing,
we're not going to go into his ability or anything because we don't really there are speculations of what we're pretty sure it is, but we're not going to go into that because we don't want to say something and then be wrong about it.
Also, we would like to talk about the card in detail when it releases, we do in the spoiler section. So
we did also get another card that was Fallen Lightsaber, which is really interesting because it's not the Grand Inquisitor's lightsaber.
It's not the Grand Inquisitor's lightsaber, but it is an Inquisitor's lightsaber. You can see by the artwork it's holding it, and there's the circular rim. I think it is. I just think
it's one of those things where it's so blurry. It's a little bit.
This is why we're not talking about the card.
This is why we're not talking about the abilities. Absolutely.
But again, just all of that's really exciting. Firstly, as I said, and we all know I love them, another lightsaber. That's so sweet. I love lightsabers. Give me them all. Fine additions to my collection.
Absolutely. It's good to have confirmation. I think seeing the Grand Inquisitor means a lot, because we were talking a lot about how things like Advance or things who are like, well, what
Yeah, what would you
kind
run
of
that
force
with?
units could we find in Villain and the like we're kind of Inquisitors. So hopefully we're going to get a few of those. I would say maybe we're going to get some in red, maybe we're going to get some in blue, to kind of get.
It would definitely be cool to see things like, Seventh Sister is like a blue villain, and then like Sixth Brother is like a red villain, and things like that. And I think it's really exciting. It's really interesting. It's really exciting. I love the Inquisitors. I love them whenever they show up. I think they were awesome in the Obi-Wan series. I think they were awesome in Rebels.
I think Seventh Sister was one of my favorite characters when I was playing Destiny. She was
she's so fun. You get to roll the droid in with her.
Yeah, she was a really cool kind of character there because you got those little droids as well. And
it'd be cool if she makes like tokens, or when you play her, she can search for the specific droid.
Hmm.
But again, that's all speculation. I'm sure in the coming weeks, very soon, we'll be seeing that card. Given that next month is Aggression Month. Once this is panned out, if you're paying attention in the articles, they did mention that we're getting aggression cards next month.
Yeah, so we should be seeing this stream schedule coming up soon.
Probably next
it'll
week.
either be so the aggression stream will either be next Wednesday or the Wednesday after. It just depends whether they want to have a break between that, because next Wednesday will be into October.
Yeah, which is exciting because October's very close to the end of the year, and as we do know that we have confirmation that Star Wars Unlimited is coming in Q1 of 2024. So every month that goes by is 1 month closer to getting my hands on the awesome product. But, James, how much do I have to pay to get my hands on this awesome product?
Well, that has been explained to you in the most recent live stream.
Oh, that's so handy!
That is so handy. Now, we're going to start with booster packs.
Yes, it's
because we already talked about booster packs last week. If you want to know more about the booster pack breakdown, please check out last week's.
Yes, we go into
podcast.
ratios, what you kind of look at getting in them. We're not going to dive into it too much in this episode, because honestly, booster packs are going to be the most common product. There's not really too much to say on them. But if you want to actually get into our in-depth thoughts on that, please do go check out last week's video. We get really hype about that. So, booster packs, as we know, there's 16 cards in a pack, and we have confirmation that there's 24 packs in a box.
And those packs will be $4.99 US.
Yes.
Which, we're Australian. Yep. There's no official, and this is what it is
exactly
in AUD.
What it's going to cost in AUD.
But for everyone in Australia, that's probably going to be, it's going to be up to,
$7 to $8.
it's going to be up to the kind of, when it comes over what price it's set at, but it's either going to be $7 or $8.
It's also up to your LGS. Your local game stores may also charge more and things like that, or may charge less. It's really important to make sure, though, that when official product like this does come out, that we are getting onto it, just for the main reason of support your LGS, get your local community growing, and we just want this game to kind of grow, especially in Australia. So that's why we're kind of going to convert all this to Australian dollars as well for all you Aussie viewers out there. But
and we're just some random people who are being like, this is what it is, so it's probably going to be around this. So we're going to give you a little range between $7 to $8.
This is our just very loose assumption based on the previous card game knowledge we have.
Yeah, and so, kind of looking at the card games that are out at the moment.
The market average is about, $7 to $10 a booster, depending on what game you're getting into. On average, you're about $8. Yeah. So I feel like that's what we could expect. In terms of booster box pricing, nothing has been confirmed yet. We have our speculations. We can't say for concrete or certain. I would say we'd maybe be looking anywhere from 120 to the potentially, in extreme cases, 200 range. That's it, but it's hard to gauge a booster box, because that's one thing that a lot of the time your local game store does have more say over, which they do mention. Because, we've had our fair share of card games where it's been 130 for a box, but then you go to Magic and it's like 200 for a box and things like that. So in terms of your booster boxes, I can't see it being more than $200 in the most extreme cases. But we know what boosters are confirmed. As for the cost of booster boxes, I would say closer to release date, have a discussion with the LGS. I'm sure when everything goes up for pre-order, you'll be able to see it, but we don't have a concrete price on that. We do know how many boxes are in a crate, though, for those of you who are like me and thinking about getting a crate.
I think about it. I don't know whether I can, but I
do.
definitely think about it.
I think about it every day. I wake up and I'm like, Star Wars Unlimited, great. But it is 6 boosters, 6 booster boxes.
Yep. 6 booster packs.
6 booster packs. And you get a crate.
1 crate. No, 6 booster boxes.
6 booster boxes. So,
but that is not the only products that they rolled out. They talked a little bit more about the starter decks, which we've talked about a couple of podcasts ago. Again, we're not going to go over what
the contents
they reiterated a lot of stuff where they said, which was really nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Obviously, you get a playset of all the exclusive cards.
I love hearing it. Every time I hear it, I love hearing it.
Yep. Something I don't think they'd mentioned before is little deck boxes that it comes with.
It comes with like little cardboard deck boxes, like your little fold-out paper mats, one with Luke, one with Vader, and they've got the...
all in all, we said it during the starter deck stream, but... the podcast.
Episode.
It's a good product, and it's a product that both of us are happy to buy.
Absolutely.
The price...
it's a good product if you and a friend want to get into the game. It's absolutely perfect, and the pricing is really, in my opinion, honestly, really fair.
They released it as $35, which converting that to what it's generally going to be in Australia, you're going to see it around $50 to $60.
$50 to $60, which when you break it down, on average, for those of you who are in card games, your average starter deck cost is anywhere from $25 to like $30, $40. So this, and one thing to keep in mind with this is 2. This is 2 starter decks. So you're essentially just paying what you normally would pay for both the starter decks anyway. So I know in like the One Piece card game, the cheapest I've seen their starter decks for is about $27 AUD. So realistically, I'm buying 2 starter decks.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is...
And I'm getting play sets. I know in the One Piece ones, you get like 2 of some cards, whereas I'm buying this and I'm getting...
And I think one of the easiest things to kind of say is you're buying it with a friend. If you want to, you can split that cost.
Go half-half.
$30 each. You both get a starter deck and some, like... You
get to play. You can take it to locals and the decks, as we said in the starter deck episode, if you want to get more into why they're good, go watch that. But they're good decks. Like if you can take that to locals and you can win a few games. And at worst case, you have like a great foundation to build from. So it's really encouraging to see that this product is honestly fairly priced too. Because in most cases with a card game, if you're going to buy... if you want to get play sets of a starter deck, you're going to have to spend $60 to buy 2 copies of it. If you want to get play sets from 2 different starter decks, you're going to have to spend $120 on average to be able to get full play sets from that. Just spend $55 and play Star Wars Unlimited with the rest of us because we're cool like that.
No, it definitely seems like a really cool kind of
great
product.
Getting into the game.
Speaking of locals,
it's time.
They went into a bit of OP stuff on the stream. Talking about kind of what a general kind of thing,
like casual night,
will look like. They showed up a couple of promotional cards that they're going to be releasing.
Yeah, they did.
Seems like it's going to be packs of 3 cards. There's a chance for one of those cards to be a holo foil, special holo foil
alt art.
We showed one of those, and that is
Takedown.
Sabine.
And we saw was Takedown not? Takedown just has special art, but the holo foil that we did see was Sabine, and she looks awesome.
Yeah, so that's the OP kits for the casual thing. There's going to be quite a few of them. You can see that it is 17 out of 20. And so those kind of packs that you have are going to be those. So you have a chance. You have cards in them. They're all going to be rare cards. Like
rare cards,
it was a little bit weird because they were saying rare in like that. It was kind of just rare, but also so it's hard to be like there is rare cards and then there is rare cards.
Isn't hard to get opposed to actual rarity value. They did also mention that some starter deck exclusives will be getting hyperspace variants in these packs because they won't be in the main set, but you'll be able to get them by doing this. For those as well who aren't entirely sure what we're talking about, OP is organized play. It's essentially just going down to like your local game store and like you go on a designated night and you bring a constructed deck, or there might be draft or something like that, and you play.
Well, this one specifically is actually not. Is just
this is
anything
like
to
casual,
do with if you come and trade cards.
Yeah.
There is no. From what I've gathered, there is no tournament that is. Yeah. That is the next thing that we're going to be talking about, the store championships.
Yes, because they specifically said that this was a casual night.
Yeah.
So if you're going down as a collector to trade with people, if you're coming down for the first time and just asking people how to build your decks, which is great. It's good for community building. It's awesome. I love when new people approach me and are like, "Hi, I'm new. Can you tell me a bit about the game?" And I'm just like, "An excuse to talk about my favorite thing that you're interested in? Of course, take a seat."
I think I'm going to assume that local gaming stores are going to have a lot of say in how to kind of distribute these.
Yeah.
And I would say a lot of the time it's probably going to be a case of the store championships and the organized kind of play kits are going to kind of be smashed together a little bit, where they only have one night a week. They can kind of have people all around.
Yeah.
So there's that kind of it's kind of a weird little like there's two separate things, and it's going to be up to your local gaming store and how they distribute those and how they kind of decide how to do those, and
which is usually really good because it's good to give them the freedom to do that. Like I know some LGSs will do like a tier 1 event where it's for people who are newer to the game and want to play decks that maybe aren't as strong, and then you've got what FFG did mention that we will get more info on is competitive rewards, like proper competitive night, which I think is where you, like for those of us who are keen on the competitive side, like James and I, where you'll go and you'll play your constructed and you'll play like your cool, good decks that you built to be able to get high tier prizes, but they will be talking about that later in another stream, I think they mentioned.
I believe that's what the store championships are.
Ah, cool.
That's your weekly tournament. Go and play your constructed decks, and whenever you play in those, I believe everybody gets the takedown, and that is the special takedown that you get for playing in those weekly.
It's also one of two, so I think you'll either get takedown or the other card.
Yeah.
But
probably one of those cases where if you've played a card game before, you kind of seen it. But what'll generally happen is there'll be boosters that you can get that'll be given out. So you finish the tournament for the night.
Yeah.
They'll bring everyone together. They'll be like, all right, last place is Tom Bombadil.
Love that guy.
He comes up, he grabs a booster pack, and you go, all right, you can choose between, you can take this one or you can take this one.
Yeah.
Is generally kind of what it'll.
It's like usually two big piles of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time at your LGS, you're going in, you're paying your entry, and you'll get your boosters at the end of the night. You'll get your cool promos at the end of the night. And if FFG's done one thing that I for one have always thought they've done really good at is just like promo prizing, like weekly event prizing. Like you always get a cool looking alt art. I know that for Destiny you got some really cool like acrylic or like special tokens and stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah, the alt arts that we saw in Destiny were beautiful.
Yeah, they were awesome.
And they were and they've definitely kept that up when they brought it in. Like obviously you've seen Takedown and
Sabine.
Sabine, both of them are absolutely gorgeous, and they're the kind of things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
In those kind of.
They also
these are essentially the two kind of things that you're going to be
pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, you're going to your locals. You're gonna get
your takedown, and then you will get like a pack, and you'll get a couple of cards in that. You'll get like one of the 20 cool promos. Maybe one of them will be awesome and foil and alt art. You're not guaranteed Sabine every time. Don't get greedy. But you will get something interesting and cool from that. They also did say, for those of you who are, wanting to run events or judge, they did mention that we would see judge variants. We don't know what they look like, but we did get a mention. Judge variants of Luke Skywalker and Vader leaders from the starter deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
So that'd be really cool. Especially if you're kind of one of those people in your community that pushes for those events to happen.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's a nice
that's
reward.
kind of like you're going to be getting these extra judge promos, which is absolutely fair enough because it's a lot of effort to kind of do that with your local gaming store. Takes effort.
Sometimes it can be like a bit rough when you're sitting out and just helping people with the rules all night. So it feels good, at the end of the night when you'll be handed a booster pack, you'll be handed a cool Luke and Darth Vader leader, and you just you get to show them off and play them. And speaking of cool alt art Luke and Darth Vader leaders, we got something that we kind of weren't. We knew that we were going to get pre-release events, but we didn't know we would get something like this. So a pre-release kit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a concept that is kind of there at the moment. You'll see little pre-release boxes, but this seems to be the next level of that.
Yeah.
Usually you get a little pack with 6 booster packs in it, and they go, there you go, and then they get the promos and stuff for it. But this all kind of comes encapsulated with tokens, with quick start rules, with your promos and your packs, all in one box, which is going to make...
You also get a dice, I think, as well, I'm pretty sure. Maybe? I don't know. I know Magic gives, you get, a foil promo and, a couple of packs and, a dice in there one. I recall it. Maybe I'm wrong. Go watch the stream to find out. But I think it's really cool, and you do get, James mentioned, little pop-out tokens, which I think you get some in the starter deck too.
Yep.
But it's pretty sweet. It's a really cool step up, because I remember when we did pre-releases for, Destiny, it was just, here's your packs.
Yeah. I think one of the huge things about it is it's going to make running those pre-releases so easy.
So easy.
It's going to be so easy. It's going to go bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Just a pack each. You do not have to worry about handing out promos. You don't have to worry about then not someone not getting a promo, or they went and handed out all the promos, someone missed out. It's if you have your boosters, you have your promos, you have your everything, it's just in that box and just bang.
I know, we've definitely been there where, you went at a pre-release event and you got to wait, people will come out, they will open fresh booster boxes and take the cards out, count them up, one by one they will call people's names. These are ready to go. They will get everyone's names down at event start. They will go down that list and you will get up and you will grab it. And that is great for the people who are impatient goblins like me, who know that by the time I'm sitting at that pre-release event, I'm going to be ready to literally explode. I will be
it's going to be nuts. We're so excited for this game. That is the first time we're going to get hands-on cards.
It's going to be insane.
We're going to be sitting there a week before release. We're going to know every single goddamn card. We're going to have talked about it with you guys.
Yeah, we'll be doing and we're reviews and everything.
Vibrating.
It
is going to be anyone near us is just going to be like, all right.
Weird. It'll be too much to handle. If I don't get my cards quick enough, I'm going to hyperventilate and faint. I need them. But it's good. It's cool. And in this pack as well, we did just mention it. You have a chance to play the starter deck leaders in sealed, because you'll be getting an alt-art variant of Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader. You've got Darth Vader and Luke Swolewalker. He looks hench as in this art. He's just like, ooh.
Yeah, he's got very wide shoulders. We'll show it here. It's nice art. I'm not going to say
the artwork looks great. I'm not poking. I'm not being mean. I love the art on both these cards. I think Vader looks awesome. He's just looking down at you and he's like, gimme.
But I do want it next to Ben Swallow. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you can definitely see where the lineage comes from. I mean, obviously, he was
from
trained.
Leia, but
he was trained by Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was trained by the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn. So. You've got that, but the artwork looks awesome, and I for one really think it's cool that they're because it might not be a big deal to people who are new to the game, but it's cool to people like us where it's we're excited for the game, and some people might be really excited for sealed, because I know a lot of people absolutely adore things like draft and pre-release formats. It's cool to be able to play every leader. Because you have a chance to pull the rares, you have a chance, you'll always be guaranteed a common, and the only 2 leaders that you might not have gotten to play are getting put in as awesome alternate art promos.
Yeah.
So even if you don't buy a starter deck, you have access to these leaders.
Absolutely. And it was confirmed that in these pre-release kind of kits that they're sending out, they're going to have a stack of bases coming in with it. So if you don't pull
I think
Jeddah,
you get 1 per color. So you are getting 4 bases. They will each be 1 color. The pre-release kit is designed for you to open your packs, and then you are guaranteed to be able to run a color combination you want, which is so awesome.
Yeah, so if you want to run those rare bases, you're going to have to pull them in your packs.
That's fair.
But for those uncommon bases, or the common bases, you're just going to be getting them. You're just going to have them on hand.
Which is great from the perspective of sealed, where you don't know, and in things like Magic, it can be a bit annoying to have to get up and go to like the land station and grab the lands out and put them in, and then like come back at the end of the night and put them back. Don't have to do that here. You have your bases, pick a color, build your deck. If you don't get a leader you want, awesome. You've gotten arguably two of the best and most consistent leaders that we've seen so far. Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Putting shields on stuff is good. We know that. Dealing damage stuff is good. We know that.
And obviously there's a lot of questions still about draft. Are we going to be grabbing the leader, then drafting a card? Are we going to have to draft the leaders? They have said that there is going to be a live stream about draft
they will be
coming,
discussing that later.
And we assume that's either going to be next month or the month after that.
Because draft and pre-release are like they're essentially a sealed environment. They're very different.
Yeah, that was announced in the chat. So if you missed that in the stream, that is because FFG is in the chat
as well, answering questions.
And there was definitely a lot of questions about draft, which we said we're going to get to that. It's going to be in the future. It is
a prevalent format. Like we discussed it in the booster pack video last week again. But this game is designed for constructed and also draft. They put a very heavy emphasis on making sure that this game was fun to draft, which draft is awesome. Draft is an awesome format. It is so fun to just like go down and just play draft. Like it's so fun. Because a lot of I know in pre-release events and in draft, we have come up with some of the wackiest combos because we've just been forced to put these cards together and then gone, oh.
And I think we're definitely going to, as we get closer to that, you're going to see a lot of kind of like, and I'm sure we will be coming out with videos as well that will be talking about what you're looking for in those pre-releases, in those sealed formats, what cards you're kind of looking for that are going to be those kind of really linchpin cards.
Yeah. We did get caught up on talking about it because honestly, it is a really interesting and exciting product. But it is $29.99 or $30.
Yeah, so it'll be about $45 to $50 for your pre-release, which is really standard for a pre-release.
It's also a really cool thing because as far as I'm aware, there will be things you can also purchase if there's any left over after the event, I believe.
So that'll be up to your local gaming store, I believe. I know there was...
if they have any spare at your LGS.
When we played Dragon Ball, if there was spare pre-release product, you could buy it.
The same as with spare pre-release kits in Magic. They usually will sell them afterwards.
They've said, though, that the pre-release kits come with in packs of 8.
Ooh.
So if you have more than 8 people, they've said that you can easily get multiple packs.
Which is great, because again, a lot of this is up to your LGS to order stuff. And if you are excited about Star Wars Unlimited, if you watch our content, if you watch anyone else's content, if you're going around trying to absorb as much as you can like we are, and you're excited, you want your LGS to run it, bring it up with them. Genuinely, next time you go in there, go and check up, ask them if they are looking into Star Wars Unlimited, things like that. If you want a community, it's best to put your foot forward because we love our LGSs. They are busy. They've got a lot of games they got to keep track of. They got a lot of things they got to do. And sometimes it can be up to us to really get that community going, because at the end of the day, they are trying to run a business and keep a community going for us. So it's the least we can do to give back. If you want an event going, talk to them, ask your LGS, get them bring the product to their attention, and make sure that you're letting them know to order stuff in so that you can get your product.
Yeah, this could just be something that just flew over the top of their head. They're looking at all the different card games coming out. They're checking out trying to see everything, but they can't.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those cases where bringing it up to them and talking to them is going to be, and they're going to say, oh, okay, so is there people, and you're like, yep. We have people that want to play this, I guarantee it. You don't need to run,
just do a pre-release event to start off with, order a box or two, and we'll see what we can get. Yeah, definitely do that, because it's just, I know it sounds a bit weird, but it is important if you want your community to grow. And we've done it with our local community. There's already a lot of people that we've talked with and met up with and played games with, that at our local game store have been getting started up with. And honestly, the people in our community are awesome. We love you guys. We love the people who are watching. We love the people who we played with. Shout out to hi Jace. Shout out to all the people we played with and everything like that.
If your locals isn't already firing,
what are you doing?
I don't know what
doing
to
wrong?
say to you, because our locals is already happening. We're already getting people together to play games.
We were already getting people fired up for Star Wars Unlimited. Because man, I can't wait to get my hands on this.
Absolutely. I am also so keen to get my hands on the product. It's still 6 months away, approximately. But it's on those pre-releases, I'm going to be
ecstatic. I don't think I'll be able to sleep. I'm definitely going to take time off work. I'm going to definitely take some annual leave.
I definitely am going to have trouble sleeping the night before.
Yeah, so am I. I think we might just have to sit
huddle
here and
together
just
for warmth.
and just talk, whisper in each other's ears about what legendaries we want. I'm gonna have to see a boba. I need a boba.
I'm gonna get a showcase.
The forbidden showcase.
If someone pulls a showcase in their pre-release,
clap for them. Do not boo this man, please. Clap for him.
I'd run it. I don't care what cards I pull. I'm just gonna sit it down and be like, what do you want from me?
There will be people there who are like, what is this? It's like that. Don't boo me. I know what you people cheer for. But yes, the fabled 1 in 2 cases maybe showcase, because it's 1 in 12 boxes, a case of 6 boxes. So, but that doesn't mean if you buy two crates, you're not guaranteed.
It does say approximately 1 in 12 boxes, so it's rounded.
I don't do math good.
Essentially, you buy lots of boxes, you might get one kind of case. There's no guarantee.
But it does make it special when you open one. And they're not mechanically unique. So it doesn't really matter. You just get a cool leader. But that's a lot of the beginning products they kind of went through. Obviously, they touched on OP a lot. They spoke a bit about, as we mentioned earlier, Spiel is coming up. That is the German board game and gaming convention. Very fun time from what I've heard. I would absolutely love to go just 1 year. I think it'd be really fun.
If I could afford to go to Germany.
If I could afford to go to Germany as well. Maybe one day.
Unfortunately, Australia is really far away from everything.
Really is down under.
We're a long way away.
Very far away. I mean, we're closer to Antarctica than in all seriousness. Spiel's going to be, they're going to be there. I'm fairly certain we'll probably see, just like we did with Gen Con, maybe like a reveal or two. I know that I'm pretty sure they've mentioned, we know that they're going to do a live stream with Game Genix on product there. They've said that they're going to go into some product of Game Genix stuff. So I'm very excited. I know we've touched upon it a little bit. And we've both mentioned it. The deck boxes are awesome and absolutely amazing. I use their deck boxes for Magic the Gathering Commander. I love them. Their mats are good quality. We're going to get their cool acrylic tokens.
And just everything about it, like the deck box, the slot in the front, the little drawer to put all your stuff in. It has like a tray for all of your tokens. Yeah. It's got like a place for your base, a place for your leader, a place for your deck, a place for your tokens. And you can mix and match them to be like, if you're running like a blue Vader deck, you can take your blue deck box and put the black drawer in and put the like red lid on it. It's the colors of your deck. Yeah. That's so cool. It's going to be, from everything that we're seeing, Game Genic stuff is going to be really like. There's something to be said for. You have a deck box for your deck if you're playing card games most of the time. But having a deck box that is specifically designed for the game that you're playing,
it's a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's just a really cool thing that makes it feel like they care.
Yeah,
obviously, like they've shown that they do and this just is one of those ways that they've shown it, and that gives us confidence in this game. Is they know what people want, and they're
ready to give it to us. It's not like just like when we played Dragon Ball, there were Dragon Ball deck boxes, but it was just like a plastic deck box with Dragon Ball art slapped on it. This is like a Star Wars Unlimited designed deck box. It's got a specific place for your base, a specific place for your leader and tokens, a specific place for like putting all your little gribblies and dice and your deck as well. It's designed to hold sleeves. Back at the Gen Con stream, they showed like how like when you put the drawer in there, it's not coming out unless you want it to come out. And I like Game Genius is really good, high quality, but it's cool that like, you know, you don't see other games being like, this is my specific Magic the Gathering deck box. That's not just like a plastic deck box with art slapped on it. This was made for our game.
Yeah,
this
was really
cool.
Cool.
Made for our game, which is so sweet. And not to mention all the cool mats and things like that. But I think that's really all there is to say about this week's stream. Again, a bit of a shorter one, but there wasn't too much in the way of big game information game-wise, but really helpful and good information just for people who are interested in product. How much it was going to cost. You know, when like things to tell your LGS, things to get your community excited, info on pre-release, info on
now that the prices
OP
are out,
events.
you're going to start to see LGSs getting those communications. So you'll contact your LGS will contact Fantasy Flight Games or Asmodee or whatever it
their
is.
distributor as well.
Their distributor of whatever country you're in. And then now that the prices are out, you're going to start to see them getting what their price is to kind of get it in stores, which is obviously different to the retail price. And so that's going to be, so you're going to, I'm not saying go to your local game store now and they'll know, but this is the point where they're going to start to get those communications.
So this is a good point because it'll mean within the coming months, your game store may start getting, again, we don't run game stores, we're not FFG, so I can't say for certain, but this is usually the point when in the coming months, your game store will start putting in pre-orders and things like that. So now is the time to make it interesting. To make it known, like if you want a pre-release event, make it so. I cannot wait to remove all of my paper proxies and crush them up and throw them away and finally play
burn them
with
in the sacrificial fires.
Real cards, because we're using print and play proxies right now, but let us assure you that when the real cards come out, we want to support the game, and most of all, I want my real cards. I want my foils. I
want my hyperspaces.
I don't care if it's a paper proxy. The paper proxy isn't a hyperspace foil cannon.
But that is all we have for this week.
It is.
I believe the count is you got one of your cards rated, which is generally the ratio that we have. You got two? Oh, sorry. I must have zoned it out.
Halfway through, I forgot about Ezra, but I do see the 3-3 for 3 space units.
So anyway, we're going to be calling it there. Thank you guys very much. Please like and subscribe, comment. We will see you next week.
Take down to 4. Bye!